Hello everyone, welcome back to the Building Movie List app with SwiftUI and TMDb API tutorial series. In this part, we're going to build the Search Movies feature into the app. We'll learn on how to use UISearchBar on SwiftUI and using the Combine framework to throttle observable query text typed by the user before we make an API call. Without further ado, let's open Xcode and start coding. We continue right off from the previous part where we have successfully built the movie detail screen that shows the pieces of information of a single movie. Let me open the preview file to show you the search screen we'll build. The search movie screen has a search bar located at the top of the screen, then a list for showing the results of the movie searched by the user. Each of the movies has a title and release year text. The movie screen itself is located in the same hierarchy as the movie list screen, using a top bar view at the bottom. From the project navigator, create a new SwiftUI file named Movie Search View. Let's build the body with a navigation view at the root level, so we can navigate to the movie title screen when the user taps on the row in a list. Declare the list, put a single text for placeholder, so we can build the project without error. We need a search bar at the top of the screen. As SwiftUI currently doesn't have a search bar component, we need to bridge UI search bar to SwiftUI using UI view representable protocol. Declare a new Swift file named searchbar view inside the UIKit views folder. Import SwiftUI at the top of the file, then declare the searchbar view struct that conforms to UI view representable protocol. There are two properties we have to declare. The first one is the placeholder text. The other one is the text string. As the parent view will pass the state, we need to use binding property wrapper. So any update to this property will be propagated back to the object who owns the state. Next, let's implement the required methods. The first one is the makeUIView method. Let's use UISearchBar as the return type. In the body, we initialize UISearchBar, passing 0 as the frame rectangle. Assign the placeholder property with the placeholder property we declare. Then, set the search bar style as minimal. Set the enable return keys automatically as false. So, the return button is always enabled even if the text is empty. At last, return the search bar. The second one is the updateUIView method, which invoked the first time the search bar is shown. In this case, we assign the text property value to the search bar text. Before we can use this view, we need to receive a callback whenever the user is typing on the keyboard. So, we need to implement UISearchBar delegate, which requires a class type. To solve this, Apple provides a way for us to use a coordinator object. Let's declare the coordinator class as a subclass of NS object. Also, let's conform to UISearchBar delegate protocol. Declare a text property using binding property wrapper. As this is a class type, there is no default initializer. We need to create it by ourselves. Then, inside the initializer, we need to prefix the text with an underscore to assign the binding passed in the initializer as the projected value. For the UISearchBar delegate methods, the first method we implement is searchbar text.change. In this case, we update the text property using the search bar's text. The following method is searchbar search button click. In this case, we want to dismiss the keyboard. We can use the search bar's resign first responder method. At last, we need to implement the makeCoordinator method to initialize and return the coordinator object. Let's initialize the coordinator and passing the text binding using $prefix as the parameter. Don't forget to implement and set the search bar delegate to the context coordinator in the Mac UIV method. Let's navigate back to the movie search view and declare the search bar view at the top of the list. It requires us to pass the binding text. We need a state property. Let's use an observable object for that. Declare a new Swift file named movie search state inside the bindings folder. Import SwiftUI, Combine, and Foundation at the top. Declare movie search state class that conforms to observable object protocol. We have four published properties that represent the state of the movie search. First, the text which the user types. Second, movies, an array representing the response of the search movie from the API. Third is loading, a Boolean property representing whether the data fetching from the API is currently in progress. Fourth, error, an NS error that indicates if there is an error when making the API call. We'll use the combine framework to subscribe to the observable text value and throttle the updated value to 1 second. So, we'll wait until the user stops typing on the keyboard up to 1 second before making an API call. It helps to reduce the number of API calls when the user is typing fast, as we don't have to fetch the data every time the user types a new character. Declare a subscription token property to store the token. We'll be removing the token when the object gets initialized. Declare the movie service property. Then, create an initializer that accepts a movie service. The default value is the movie store. Let's assign this to the movie service property. Let's declare a method named startObserve, which will be invoked when the movie search fee appears on the screen using the onAppear modifier. First, using guard statement, we check if the subscription token is not nil. If it exists, we return early. To access the observable from the query, we can use a $sign as the prefix. We're going to use the observable chaining. First, we use a map operator. This allows us to transform the value to another value. In this case, we only want to reset the error and the movie properties values, then return the same value. For the following chain operator, we use throttle, passing 1 second as the interval. Set the schedule to be dispatched in the main thread using dispatch queue main. Then pass through as the latest, as we don't need to receive the initial query value. We use the sync operator to subscribe to the value from the chain. In the closure, we receive the value of the query and invoke the search method, passing the query. Let's declare the search method that accepts a single parameter, which is the query string. Here, we reset all the state properties to the default value. Then, using guard statement, we check if the query text is not empty. For your info, Combine also provided a filter operator that we can use before in the observable chain. I'll leave that to all of you as the exercise to practice using the Combine framework. Next, we set the isLoading property to true. Then, using the movie service, we invoke the search movie method, passing the query. In the closure, we declare self as weak to avoid memory leak by return cycle. Then, using guard, we check if the current value of query property equals to the query we pass to the search movie API. It's possible when the searching is still waiting for the response from the API, the user already types a new search query. At last, we set is loading back to false and use the switch statement on the result enum value. In case of success, we assign the movie property from the associated value. And in case of failure, we assign the error property with casted and as error. Finally, we need to remove the subscription token observer in the init by invoking cancel so the object can be released from the system's memory. Go back to movie search view and declare the movie search state property using observable object property wrapper. Let's complete the search bar view implementation and pass the binding query text from movie search state. Let's run the live preview to see the results of our work. Let's add the navigation bar title using a hard-coded search string. We'll need to fix the extra horizontal padding on both sides by using list row insets modifier. We can pass 8 as leading and trailing value. Let's run. Looks good. Next, let's declare the loading view to show the loading indicator when we fetch the search result from the TMDb API. In the initializer, we pass the isLoadingState property from the movie state, the error, and return closure. In the closure, we invoke the movie search state, search movie, passing the query text. Let's declare the list for showing the results of the movie. We need to use if conditional statement to check if the value of the movies from the state properties isn't nil. Then, we used for each passing the movies array to the initializer. In the closure, we wrap the view using a navigation link, so the user can navigate to the movie detail view when the row is tapped. In the navigation link, we declare a vstack with leading alignment, and then we declare the title and year text for the movie. Next, make sure to add on appear modifier, and inside the closure, we can just invoke the movie search state start observe method. Let's build the app and run the live preview. Type into the search bar to search your favorite movie. Then, tap on the row to navigate to the movie details screen. Let's move on to the final part, where we will add the tab view containing the movie list and movie search screen within the same hierarchy. Navigate to content-view.swift file. In the body, declare tab view as the root view. Then, for the first tab, we declare the movie list view. Then, by using the tab item modifier, we can customize the title and icon of the tab. We need to use a vstack. Then, we declare the image passing TV from the SF symbol as the system name. Then, for the text, we pass movies. We also need to add a unique hashable tag modifier for each tab. Let's pass 0 for the first tab. Let's do the same for the second tab, the movie search view. For the image, we use magnifying glass FF symbol, and for the text, we use search string. Let's pass 1 as the tag value. That's it. Let's build and run the app from the live preview to test. The top bar is now shown at the bottom, and we can switch tabs between movie list and the movie search. Congratulations on finishing this tutorial. To summarize, we have built a custom search bar component using UISearchBar with UI view representable. Then, we created the movie search state observable object and used combine to subscribe to the observable query text. In the process, we use the observable operator to throttle the query text. Finally, we built the top bar to contain the movie list and movie search within the same hierarchy. Thanks everyone for following the tutorial series. If you like and want to support this channel, please like, share, and subscribe. It really motivates me to keep producing video tutorials. So, until the next one, let's keep the lifelong learning goes on. Bye!